U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Minnesota's weather is cloudy with a 100% chance of ice. ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. ICE. Oh, man, I'm going to get copyright for this.
You're as cold as ice.
Of course, they're playing
You're
Cold as Ice.
willing to sacrifice our love.
They play some Ice, Ice, baby.
You never take advice. Someday you'll pay the price.
Okay, well, I'm going to mute it from this point on. So in case that this is completely silent during the episode, and the reason why my video posted like an hour and a half later than normal, that was why. Because YouTube made me cut out that part. It'll let me play the video part, but it'll mute all of the music if it's copyrighted, which I don't think it really is necessarily. I think it only is just for like monetizable reasons. But anyway, so that's what ICE is up to. So we're going to get more into the immigration part of the episode. So this is from Libs of TikTok. Somali man from Minnesota films himself threatening to pop, aka shoot, ICE agents when the next time he sees them. Let's take a look at this
you guys
idiot.
pulled up to Owatonna, the Big O, and you pulled up when I was not there? Yo, so puss-ass shit, boy. You gonna get popped next time I see you at. Bring the whole cavalry. Yeah, boy, you guys are scared. Scared of the stingray, baby. Woo.
These people are so retarded, man. People are so fucking stupid. I don't know if this was on TikTok. I have no idea where this was, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's on TikTok. People will literally say anything on TikTok, and they just don't believe in consequences anymore. You know, accountability doesn't exist in 2025. Okay, FBI Director Kash Patel. Yesterday, the FBI arrested Gerson Quadra Soto out of Nebraska, an alleged leader of MS-13. He's believed to be responsible for overseeing one of their major kill squad units and suspected of executing the assassination of the son of the former president of Honduras. This is part of the FBI's Joint Task Force Vulcan investigation out of FBI Houston to locate, indict, and arrest members of MS-13 leadership La Mesa. Great work from FBI Omaha and partners HSI HQ and also DEA HQ and more. This administration is taking a whole-of-government approach to dismantling MS-13 and their presence within the country. And I believe I've got the article right here. This is going to be on Fox News. We'll get a little bit of additional information, even though it probably won't be a whole lot more than what Kash Patel already laid out in his post. So an MS-13 leader believed to have overseen a kill squad for the Bloodthirsty gang and who is linked to the killing of the son of the former president of Honduras was arrested in Nebraska on Monday, the agency said. And one of the few things that I have read about MS-13 is that in order to be formally initiated into the gang, you have to commit murder. You got to kill somebody to officially get into the gang. So anyway, Gerson Amir Quadra Soto, age 33, aka Phantasma, was taken into custody in Grand Island, 150 miles west of Omaha, on immigration-related charges, said the FBI on Tuesday. Quadra is believed to have overseen El Combo, an MS-13 kill squad designated to carry out assassinations on behalf of the gang. He's been charged in Honduras with 4 homicides, authorities said. And I'm sure Biden administration probably just let him right on in. Authorities suspect he played a role in the July 2022 killing of Said Lobo Bonilla, the son of former Honduran President Porfirio Lobo Sosa. Bonilla and 3 other men were killed as they left a nightclub in the Honduran capital of Tegucigalpa. I'm terrible with words. All right, Quadra fled Honduras following the quadruple murder. He and 2 other co-defendants were released from jail after government officials were paid $125,000 in bribes, federal prosecutors said, according to an unsealed affidavit. Authorities allege that Quadra entered the United States in November by crossing from Mexico into Texas and later obtained a California driver's license. So it says November. They gave a year, correct? I'm assuming in November of 2022, which would have been right smack in the middle of the Biden administration. Honduran authorities identified Quadra as a close associate of Yolan Archega Carias, known as Porky, who was listed on the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives list. Carias is believed to be MS-13's leader in Honduras and a voting member of the gang's leadership group, La Mesa. And this is, oh, okay, so that's not the guy himself. That would be him that they have arrested, the Phantasma dude. And moving on, he is charged by the Justice Department with racketeering conspiracy and cocaine importation conspiracy and possession of and conspiracy to possess machine guns. Despite Quadro's arrest on immigration charges, the FBI's Houston office, which led the investigation that resulted in his arrest, continues to investigate him for his alleged role as an MS-13 leader. The case is part of an Operation Take Back America, a nationwide initiative aimed at dismantling drug cartels and transnational criminal organizations and to protect communities from violent crime. Fox News Digital reached out to the FBI and the Justice Department for more information, didn't get a response. February, President Trump designated several groups, mostly cartels, including MS-13, as foreign terrorist organizations, expanding the government's ability to crack down on criminal groups operating in the U.S. And we'll roll on to the next one. From the Department of State, 85,000 visa revocations since January. President Trump and Secretary Rubio adhere to one simple mandate, and they won't stop anytime soon. And do they have anything to accompany this? Article-wise, no. They don't, but that's all right. I mean, we got it. 85,000 visa revocations since January. And from the GOP, 5 hours ago, Fat Cat Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, should focus more on making sure his residents aren't being set on fire in the subway. Yeah, amen to that. So, breaking Illinois Governor Pritzker signs bill to further shield illegal immigrants from deportations and making it easier to sue ICE agents. Lovely. That's Illinois for you. So, it doesn't look like we have an article, but I'll at least look for it. Okay, so I don't have it from Fox News, but I got it from NBC News. Illinois governor signs law shielding immigrants from arrest near courthouses, hospitals, or colleges. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Operation Midway Blitz arrested more than 4,000 people. Data showed 15% had criminal records, mostly misdemeanors and nonviolent felonies, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, they're all criminals because they entered illegally for the most part. Springfield, Illinois. Immigrants living in Illinois, among the states hit hardest by the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, are now shielded from federal enforcement near courthouses and hospitals and university campuses and daycares under a law Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker signed Tuesday. Not sure if that's going to hold up because they don't have authority over the federal government. So I'm assuming this is probably going to get challenged. And plus, okay, near. What does near mean? Does that mean within 1,000 feet, or does it mean within 25 miles? It wouldn't surprise me if they put up a ridiculous radius like that. So the law, which takes effect immediately, also provides legal steps for people whose constitutional rights were violated, the constitutional rights of illegal immigrants, during the federal enforcement action in the Chicago area, including $10,000 in damages for someone unlawfully arrested while attempting to attend a court proceeding. Dropping your kid off at daycare, going to the doctor, attending your classes should not be a life-altering task, Pritzker said at a bill signing in the largely Latino Little Village neighborhood in Chicago. Illinois, in the face of cruelty and intimidation, has chosen solidarity and support. So they're putting the illegal immigrants above their own American citizens. As always, that's Democrats for you. Critics complain the law will be overturned by the courts. As I said, I'm assuming it's going to be because they just don't have that kind of authority. It's the same thing with California where the Governor Gavin Newsom, he signed that bill mandating that federal agents are not allowed to wear masks in the state of California, which he has absolutely no authority to do that. So the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Operation Midway Blitz, which appears to have shown or wound down, arrested more than 4,000 people, which we already got to all that. So legislators did not return to session until October and approved the measure late in the month, sending it to Pritzker. Staff reviewed it in the intervening weeks. I mean, did they review it with any legal scholars or any like top tier lawyers or anything? Obviously not, because they would have said, yeah, this is an absolute waste of time. You might as well not even waste the ink. But of course, they're going to do it so they can grandstand and just remain up on their soapboxes, trying to please their base, their radical leftist 10% base, or maybe 15 or maybe even 20%, since it is Chicago after all, or Illinois at least. So federal agents are now prohibited from making civil arrests in or around courthouses of a person attending certain legal proceedings. And the law provides 10,000 fines, which we already got. I don't know why they're saying it all over again. So Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, she said he must be unfamiliar with the U.S. Constitution, the Supremacy Clause, of which declares that federal law cannot be superseded. Absolutely. We hope the headlines, social media likes, and fundraising emails he did this for are all worth it. Which, yeah, I mean, come on, that's exactly what they did it for. When the legislature approved the plan, the Senate President Don Harmon, a Democrat, of course, acknowledged critics' complaints that it would face a legal challenge. He said he believes it's constitutional, but said the Trump administration can find a friendly court to overturn it. These people are fucking retards. No, they're actually not retarded at all. They're actually, they're smart in their own special way. They just assume that all of you are retarded. So anyway, quote, there is no badge, no title, no mask that puts anyone above the Constitution, Harmon said Tuesday. This law sends the message that if you abuse your authority, there's consequences. Linda Tortolero, head of the advocacy group Latino Policy Forum, said the new law shows how in Illinois we stand by immigrant families, democracy, and civil rights. Okay. And move into this next post from Homeland Security 4 hours ago. It's very simple. A country cannot survive being inundated with foreign invaders. For 4 straight years, the Biden administration accelerated alien emissions from terror and gang-infiltrated countries, prioritizing sheer numbers over rigorous vetting procedures, jeopardizing our national security. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, our priority is the American people. This is on One American News.
We've discussed this previously. The Secretary has really set a high bar for countries to meet if they want to send people into our nation, which seems reasonable. Are you seeing some of these countries try to demonstrate to the department that they're upping their game on their own vetting so as to not end up on a travel ban list?
Well, we certainly hope that they would do so. I think that for a long time, the American public have rested on the promise that the American government would vet everyone that came into our country effectively. And unfortunately, when you have a singular line of defense with just the American government doing the vetting, there are manners and forms in which that vetting process can be manipulated, as you've seen with the 190,000 Afghan nationals that flooded into our country following Operation Allies Welcome. So we're sincerely hoping that these countries take these issues as seriously as the United States is taking them, that they institute vetting mechanisms that are on par with our vetting mechanisms, and in doing so, create a more secure visa process for every individual that's flowing into our country or flowing out of our country. But our priority is to the American people. It's to providing for their safety and their security first. And we will not dispense with their safety and security just to allow individuals from countries with known terrorist threats to come into our land and settle on our shores.
Well, these countries that are going to implement these vetting procedures, where's the money going to come from to provide all that 21st century technology? Here it comes. Probably the American taxpayer is going to have to foot the bill for all these countries of concern to have to be able to have the ability in order to properly vet their people. Or maybe not. I mean, I hope not. I hope that would be 100% up to them. That would be their responsibility. Otherwise, just don't come to America. Simple as that. All right, Mike Lee, an odd way to say that nearly 2/3 of people arrested by ICE have criminal records in BC. Regardless, ICE is supposed to remove illegals from our country, regardless of whether they have committed additional crimes, and many have. Great work, ICE Gov. And NBC News, December 8th, more than 1/3 of roughly 220,000 people arrested by ICE officers in the first 9 months of the Trump administration had no criminal histories, according to new data. And didn't they just say earlier in this one that it was only like 15%? Or was it, that probably only pertained to Chicago though, didn't it? That would probably be my guess. Yeah, okay. So yeah, more let's see. Operation Midway Blitz. Yeah, so that was Chicago specifically, saying that about 15% had criminal records, meaning that 15% of them, I'm assuming that would be the percentage of those who committed crimes after they got into the country, which is a pretty high number. You know how they say that illegal immigrants, that they commit crimes far less than, or at a rate far less than Americans do? Pretty sure that 15% of all Americans commit crimes. And it's probably just a little bit lower than that. So, all right, let's see the next article from NBC News. And ICE has arrested nearly 75,000 people with no criminal records, data shows. The figures don't include arrests made by Border Patrol, which has launched aggressive immigration operations in several cities in recent months. Anybody who came over illegally, they're criminals. I mean, there's no two ways about that. So more than 1/3 of the roughly 220,000 people arrested in the first 9 months of the Trump administration had no criminal histories. So 1/3 of them did. And the data, which includes ICE arrests from January 20th to October 15th, shows that nearly 75,000 Let's see. No criminal record swept up in immigration operations. The president and his top officials said would target murderers, rapists, and gang members. Well, of course they are. They're still targeting them. And if they come across people who are here illegally, yeah, we'll take them too. So it contradicts what the administration has been saying about people who are convicted criminals. No, it doesn't. No, they're collecting anybody they come across who's here illegally. Period. Plain and simple. I'm sure that in these places where these criminals are found, I'm sure, for every one criminal that they're there targeting, they might come across 3 or 4 other people who also happen to be here illegally. So they're heading out as well. So the figures provide the most revealing look to date into the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. They were shared by the University of California. Yeah, of course, because, they're totally reliable. Fucking Berkeley. Deportation Data Project, which obtained them through a lawsuit brought against Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So I obviously don't have time to dig into this, but I'll link this. I have a feeling that if I read through this website deeply enough, you're probably going to conclude that it's going to be a lot of cherry-picked information. I would go as far as to assume, which is kind of a sad statement to say that our university system is cherry-picking data. But hey, man, that's where we are. Anyway, so this data is compiled by an internal ICE office that handles arrest, detention, and deportation data. I mean, that's what they say. I'm not so sure if University of California, Berkeley interpreted it that way, but anyway, the administration stopped regularly posting detailed information on ICE arrests in January. For arrestees with criminal histories, the data doesn't distinguish between those with a history of minor offenses and those who have committed more serious crimes like rape and murder, whom the administration has said it is targeting. So anyway, it goes on from there. It actually goes on quite a ways. So NBC News, they're going to frame it to fit the agenda that they're seeking. The whole pro-immigration, they're basically Americans at this point. Just let them stay here because, they're already here. Why waste the money? We desperately want more constituents in our deep blue districts. Okay, Homeland Security, don't run from law enforcement and resist arrest. CBP agents arrested Wilmer Toledo Martinez, an illegal alien who has prior arrests for being in possession of a loaded firearm. Martinez resisted arrest and attempted to flee. He was safely taken down by a designated patrol K-9. After being taken into custody, he was provided medical attention. Of course he was, because they always are. Martinez will remain in DHS custody pending his removal proceedings. CBP is unapologetic in the mission to secure our nation's communities and remove the worst of the worst. And this is from Senator Patty Murray, because, she's not a lunatic at all. So my constituent, Wilmer, was mauled by an ICE attack dog, despite the fact that, as he has consistently explained, he was not resisting arrest or trying to flee. His wife and young children, all U.S. citizens, were forced to watch helplessly as Wilmer was violently attacked and just dragged away. I'm calling for Wilmer's immediate release from NWIPC. He has no criminal convictions. You see how they frame that? That's how Democrats, that's how they tend to frame this stuff. He was arrested for possessing a loaded handgun. Then he was promptly set free because he's probably in a sanctuary state. And the way Democrats dress this up is that, well, he hasn't even been convicted, so he's technically not a criminal. No, well, yeah, he hasn't been convicted yet because he hasn't been put on trial for his crimes yet. So anyway, he poses no threat to the community. Yeah, okay, carrying around a loaded handgun. I thought Democrats were all scared of guns, that guns kill people with gun violence all the time. But yet, this man who's carrying around a loaded handgun, who's here illegally, he poses no threat to the community. Only the big bad Republicans who carry guns are a threat. So, and he urgently needs appropriate medical care since ICE is denying him the treatment he requires. Yeah, because she was there when he got arrested. Yeah, she totally knows everything about this. All right. So, yeah, of course that happened. Yeah, there's the pictures. Apologies, YouTube. It's there. It was shared by a government politician. So there you go. All right, anyway, the White House, quote, under Biden, this country was out of control. Millions of people pouring through, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. And now we have nobody coming in. Nobody ever talks about that anymore. They should talk about that. From President Donald J. Trump.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
2
it
years
looks like
ago,
the same
a year
interview.
ago, under Biden, this country was out of control. Millions of people pouring through, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. And now we have nobody coming in. We have them coming in only legally. They have to go through a legal process. Nobody ever talks about that anymore. They should talk about that.
Yep, legal immigration, legal.
If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out The Swamp, Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern, with segments dropping on the daily. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.